Good morning guys, so I hope we're doing well. Today is a 1 year clean and sober video. 1 year clean from alcohol, cocaine and porn addictions. It's been the hardest year of my life, but the most life-changing year as well. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about it, reflect on it and contrast a little bit from where I was a year ago to where I am now. And this video is not for props or anything like that, but it's to show people that no matter where you are, you can come back. And I was at rock bottom. I lost everything. So from a health perspective, a year ago my physical health was terrible. I looked terrible. I looked unwell. My skin was grey from all the alcohol and drug use, the lack of sleep, 3-day benders. I looked like what I was, an addict. Fast forward a year now, I look better, look healthier, look after myself a lot more, train, walk daily, saunas, plunges. I look after myself physically, sleep well, all that stuff that I didn't do a year ago. From the mental side of it, this is the big one. Anxiety has gone. Going back a year, I couldn't walk around a supermarket without having a panic attack. Now that's no longer an issue. Can walk in a supermarket, do my shopping, no problem. Feel normal and good. Paranoid feelings, gone. Going back a few months ago, I was still getting paranoid thoughts just from all the rubbish I put in my body, the cocaine, the alcohol, the sleepless nights. It took its toll. But now, a year in, clean and sober, that has lifted. My moods are a lot more stable. Going back a year, totally unstable, mood swings all the time. Now things have leveled out a lot more, which is great. It's a great place to be. I have a lot more control over my emotions, something I never thought I'd say. Now from a relationship perspective, this is the second thing. My relationships are a lot better. Going back a year, obviously I was using a lot of cocaine, alcohol, going on benders. And when you do that, when I did that, you tend to piss a lot of people off. And people will only put up with so much. And I lost a lot of good relationships through my actions and behaviours. And I accept that. I can't change the past, only the future today. Now my relationships are a lot healthier. There's not the same drama in relationships that I had a year ago. I can maintain relationships, and that is a much better place to be, having that sense of calmness. I'm not saying relationships are perfect, but they're totally different to a year ago, because there's no longer all these substances and behaviours ruining good relationships in my life, which is a great place to be, and I'm just so grateful for that. So that's the first two things: health, relationships. Now I'm going to talk a bit about identity and purpose. A little bit deeper, these things, and these things didn't really start changing for me until maybe 6 months in, 6 months of sobriety. So from an identity side, going back a year, I almost identified as this addict, this guy who couldn't beat his multiple addictions. And I couldn't, no matter what I did, rehab, therapy, I couldn't quite get there. I was stuck. Now after a year clean and sober, I no longer think of myself as Lee, the addict. I think and see myself differently as a guy who has beaten multiple addictions, who has gone through a really hard time the last year and beaten addictions that a lot of people wouldn't. I know in myself, the work and the journey I've been on. So I no longer identify as that person struggling. I know what I've gone through to get where I have, which is powerful. And that is a massive shift for me in identity. And another thing to do with identity, I've started to like myself a little bit. I used to hate myself. I used to really hate myself. I couldn't look in the mirror because I just didn't like what I saw. Didn't like how I was behaving, how I was acting. But now I can look at myself with a little bit of pride, you know, and that is a nice identity shift to have. Now the last thing will be purpose. Going back a year, I had no real purpose, I guess. Hey, morning. And that is a difficult place to be when you have that lack of purpose in life. Now I seem to reflect a lot more on what I want from life. I never used to do that. All I lived for was the next bag of cocaine or the next fix, next high. Now I reflect deeply on things and think, well, I've maybe got 40 years left on this earth if I'm lucky. And I think, what do I want to do with that time? How do I want to maximize my time here? I never used to think like that. Just used to think about the next high. I reflect on my values as a person, how I want to live my life. I never used to think about anything like that. I think about longer term plans. Never used to have any long-term plans when I was stuck in addiction. And that is a massive difference for me. So guys, if you're on your journey, maybe you're a week in, maybe you're a month, 6 months, addiction can be beaten. I've beaten multiple addictions. Seriously, ones that were gonna kill me. Anyone can do this with the right help and the right work. And one thing I will say is that I don't think there's any real one correct way to get over addictions. There's lots of things that can help, whether it's therapy, 12 steps, rehab. But one thing I have learned, it's gotta come from within you. You've got to want it, and that change comes from within. Guys, if this video resonates in any way, please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be posting content twice a week, talking about addiction, recovery, and helping others along the way. Have a great week, guys. Thanks so much for listening.